Hello, my name is Sean Nunez, and my disease is anthrax caused by the bacteria Bacillus anthracis. So, what is anthrax? Anthrax is a disease caused by the bacteria Bacillus anthracis. The bacteria resides in soil where the spores of the bacteria can stay dormant for long periods of time. It commonly affects animals, but the disease can be transferred to humans. Transmission can occur through the methods of ingestion, respiration, skin breakage, and injection. Treatment of the disease includes antibiotics, antitoxins, and vaccines. Now let's discuss about the bacteria responsible for causing anthrax. The bacteria Bacillus anthracis is a gram-positive rod-shaped bacteria that is arranged in chain-like structures. It's around 1 micrometer by 4 micrometers in size. Because of its small size, it must be observed using microscopes. I included 3 different pictures of Bacillus anthracis under 3 different type of microscopes. It exists in 2 different forms, as an active growing cell or as a dormant spore. These endospores are produced once they enter a host and they are able to germinate and continue to reproduce. Portals of entry. The first is going to be cutaneous. Cutaneous anthrax occurs when anthrax spores enter the body through an open wound or skin breakage. The second is going to be inhalation. Inhalation anthrax is the transmission of anthrax spores through the respiratory pathways. The third one's going to be gastrointestinal anthrax, which arises from consuming raw meat containing anthrax bacteria. It affects the upper gastrointestinal tract as well as the stomach and the intestines. The last one's going to be injection. Injection anthrax has been recently discovered in heroin injecting drug users. It's similar to cutaneous anthrax, except it is injected deeper into the skin or into the muscle. Symptoms of anthrax may vary depending on the type of transmission. For cutaneous anthrax, the symptoms are itchy black sores, swelling of sores and glands, and flu-like symptoms. For inhalation anthrax, symptoms are flu-like symptoms, mild chest discomfort, nausea, coughing up blood, painful swallowing, high fever, trouble breathing, meningitis, and shock. For gastrointestinal anthrax, symptoms are nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, headaches, fever, sore throat, bloody stool, and swollen neck. For injection anthrax, symptoms are redness in the area of infection, swelling, shock, multiple organ failure, and meningitis. Here are several more pictures showing symptoms of anthrax. The first one being of inhalation anthrax. The arrows are pointing to fluid buildup in the lungs. And the next two are going to be a cutaneous anthrax, one being of a black sore in the back of the neck, and the other one being on the arms. Methods of transmission of anthrax. Anthrax is not a communicable disease. Since it does not spread from person to person, you can't catch it from touch, coughing, or other casual contact like the flu. However, anthrax is a zoonotic disease, which means it spreads from animal to human. People usually become infected when they handle infected animal or animal products, especially in jobs involving wool, hides, or meat, like farming or processing animal goods. The disease can also transmit into the body indirectly. This happens when anthrax spores get on tools, surfaces, or material and then enter the body through cuts or abrasions. This leads to cutaneous anthrax, which is often the most common form of anthrax. In other cases, vehicle-borne transmission can occur. Two vehicles used by Bacillus anthracis include food-borne transmission, which is eating uncooked or contaminated meat from infected animals and can cause gastrointestinal anthrax, as well as airborne transmission or inhaling aerosolized spores, often in an industrial setting or bioterrorist event. This can lead to inhalation anthrax, which is the most severe form of anthrax. Diagnostic and detection methods of anthrax. These may vary depending on the method of transmission. Several of these detection methods may include CT scans, gram staining, blood work, biopsies, stool samples, and chest x-rays. For CT scans, results may show enlarged hilar lymph nodes, mediastinal hemorrhage, and pleural effusions. For gram staining, Bacillus anthracis will show up as purple/blue due to the bacteria being gram-positive. Low complete blood count, or CBC, can be the cause of anthrax bacteria. For biopsy, they take a sample of black sores or the site of the infection and test for anthrax. In stool samples, bacteria show up in stool, which is a sign of gastrointestinal anthrax. and for chest x-rays, results may reveal enlarged mediastinum in the thoracic cavity. There are three different treatment methods used for anthrax, the first one being vaccines. Two vaccines have been created for the treatment of anthrax, the first vaccine being Biothrax, which is used for pre-exposure and critical exposure with conjunction of antibiotics. The second vaccine created is Cyfundus, which is similar to Biothrax in the way that it treats the disease, except with an additional adjuvant, which causes a rapid immune response and requires less dosage. The second type of treatment is antibiotics, which can be oral, injective, or intravenous. Two of the most common antibiotics used for anthrax are ciprofloxacin and doxycycline. The third treatment method is antitoxins, which are injectable antibody medications that is used to fight against the toxins produced by Bacillus anthracis. There are three FDA-approved antitoxins: Anthem, Anthrax, and Anthrax Immune Globulin Intravenous. Prevention of anthrax. People who work at high-risk jobs like farmers, veterinarians, lab researchers, or those traveling to areas where anthrax is common are more likely to be exposed. There are several different actions that you can take to reduce the chances of transmission. The first thing you can do is practice safe food handling. Make sure to wash any fruits or vegetables that you recently purchased, or to cook your food all the way through. Wash your hands diligently, especially if you are outside and making contact with things. Try to avoid any contact with animals. Pre-exposure vaccination, especially for people working in high-risk jobs. Wear protective equipment. These can be masks, suits, or anything that makes sure that you reduce contact with the spores. Cover up any open wounds, and seek immediate attention if transmission is suspected. Geographical regions of anthrax. Anthrax can occur worldwide, and it's not specific to one region of the world. It is most common in agricultural countries, developing countries, and countries without veterinary public health programs. Regions of the world where anthrax is most prevalent is in South and Central America, Southern and Eastern Europe, Asia, Africa, the Caribbean, and the Middle East. The map above shows the results of 15 years of data collection covering 70 different countries compiled by the Emerging Pathogen Institute. The red regions are going to be your hotspot for anthrax, and your green regions are going to be locations and countries showing the least amount of anthrax cases. Prevalence and outbreak. According to the World Health Organization, there's approximately 20,000 to 100,000 cases of anthrax in animals each year. In contrast, human cases are much less common. According to the CDC, the incidence of anthrax in the United States is extremely low, with an average of less than 10 cases reported each year. One of the most recent significant outbreaks occurred in November 2023 in Zambia. During the outbreak, 684 suspected human cases were reported, which resulted in 4 deaths. Anthrax is perhaps most widely known for its role in the 2001 bioterrorism attack, during which letters containing anthrax spores were mailed to several U.S. senators and media organizations, resulting in widespread fear and heightened national security. I included a couple of pictures of that 2001 bioterrorism attack. So the first image shows a FBI agent gearing up to examine these letters that were mailed out. And on the bottom is actually going to be one of these letters that was sent to the New York Post. And I'm going to end off my presentation by including a couple more facts about anthrax. The first one being that anthrax can be used as a biological weapon. It was actually one of the first biological weapons ever created, and it was tested and experimented on during World War II. The second one being that anthrax spores can stay dormant for about a century. This is due to the fact that the spores are very resilient to environmental changes. This makes it very resilient and dormant for many years. The third one being that the first vaccine created for anthrax was actually made by Louis Pasteur. The fourth fact being that anthrax comes from the Greek word "chol" because of the black lesions that form from cutaneous anthrax. And the final fact being that anthrax can actually glow under UV light. This makes it very easy for scientists to identify and locate anthrax. These are my references, and thank you so much for listening to my presentation. I hope you learned a little bit about anthrax.